fellow barbarians. It is I, Alan Odinson, and this is the Barbarian Lounge podcast. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. Checking in. We're trying to get, like I said, I was going to try and get you guys more shows this year. Sometimes it's difficult. As you know, I'm running several businesses. I'm burning the candle at both ends, and I tell you, sometimes it's tough to get out the content like I want. Trust me, there's plenty out there. But you know, I'm making it a point to add more shows to the stream, and that's what I'm going to do, guys, because I'm getting a lot of feedback, a lot of responses, positive and some negatives out there too. But that can only be expected from communist Antifa scum. And so, you know, I want to do the work, and I want to put the work. I want to see this show grow even larger than it has already. So let's get a few things out of the way before we get started here. I think we got a pretty interesting topic. A few of you, well, let me just say, let me hit to the meat and potatoes before we even, let me start us off with an appetizer here, getting this info out the way real quick. Websites. TheBarbarianLounge.com is our main website. You can go there, check it out. I'm already currently doing some updating on that site as it is. I said that was one of the things that I wanted to work on this year, was getting that website up and ready to go. I want to, I did a few changes on there. I emptied some things from the store, added a few things from the store. But if you go there now, thebarbarianlounge.com, you will find that we've added a menu there that says donate. Now, if you click on that, there's a couple different options on there. I'm going to be adding some more things on there too, because really, let's be honest, this show really needs funding. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. This is not something that I did or do to make money. It's not my intent to make money off of this show per se. But however, there's a certain trade-off when it comes to time versus income. And for me, running several different businesses, I need to start finding ways to make this show somewhat be able to support itself. In the same time, I want to see money come in to see this show grow. There's a lot of things I've had to do recently. As you know, I've documented the attacks we've been receiving from Antifa, from the communist slime bags that they are. A lot of these fucking groups out there are really starting to make moves against us, and that's fine. You know, that was the whole point. I'll be honest, they weren't really messing with us too much until I stirred them up. And that was my intent, because I've said before that I'm sick of hanging back and letting these little shit stains just run amok and not be challenged. You're going to see some things throughout this year where you're going to see me stepping up the challenge just a little bit more than most people out there are doing. So needless to say, we need funds to do that. And I hate fucking asking for money, but you know, I am trading off things. If it was up to me, I'd just give everything away for free. If I had unlimited time, didn't have to pay the bills, didn't have to keep the lights on in here, buy new equipment, buy protection for our websites, because that's one of the things they like to hit us with. They hit us with those DDoSs, and you know, that they've already attacked a few times, and they're not going to stop. So we do need your help. We do need your funding, and there's several different ways you can do that. If you click on the donate menu on there, it's I believe it's thebarbarianlounge.com/donate. If I'm not 100% sure about that, just go to thebarbarianlounge.com. Check the menu at the top. You'll see donate. But you click on that, there'll be a few options there. The first one is PayPal. You can just make a regular PayPal donation. Doesn't matter what it is, $5, $10, $1, fucking $10, $100. I don't give a shit. Just something to say, hey, thanks, Odinson. All those little bits and pieces help to keep this machine running. So you can go there. You can just make a one-time donation, just kind of a thanks. Also, if you go underneath that, you'll see our Patreon thing there. And our Patreon is our members site. And basically what you do is you go there and you make a donation, however much you want to. Most people do $1. That's the minimum you can do is $1. We have some people that have done $3. We've got some people that have done $5. Either way, it's fine with me. Obviously, the more support we get, the more we can do. But that little bit of extra helps. And what happens is when you become a member of our Patreon site, You get all of our 4 regular shows that we do a month. Obviously, we're going to be doing more shows, but that's not going to fall under this category, and I'll explain that in just a minute. But we do our 4 regular shows, and we post them there. But you will get them early, ahead of everybody else. Usually it's a few days, but you will also get access to 4 exclusive content shows that are only available on our Patreon site. See, actually, you guys mostly have been seeing me do 1 show a week. Actually, I do 2 a week. It's the only difference is if you're not a member, you're not hearing them. And let me just say, our Patreon site, I'm able to get into some things on there that I don't normally do on the regular airwaves, just because those people who are Patreon members, I want them to get their money's worth. I'm all about win-win situations, and if you're going to be supporting me with $1 per episode, or $3 or $5 per episode, I want to give you the good stuff, because that showed me that you guys are down with the cause here. And that's really one of the things in 2017 we really need to work on, is building alliances, building strong alliances, being willing to stand up with each other against the rising tide. And trust me, a lot of people with Donald Trump winning, they believe that the tide is no longer rising, and I will tell you, you are wrong. And we're going to talk about some of that today. So you can go there. Basically, what will happen is if you do $1 an episode, 4 regular shows, 4 exclusive shows, ends up costing you $8 a month to support this show, and you're getting exclusive content. I'm looking at this year also adding some other things, such as a forum, and maybe a few other special surprises in there too that I'm working on. I'm going to keep those under wrap, but that should be pretty awesome if I can get it worked out. So I don't like to spill the beans too much. But yeah, you can go there and become a member. Another thing we have where you can go and do, as I'm listed up as a Amazon affiliate. So basically, it's real simple. If you go there, you go there to that Amazon affiliate link. You click it. Once you click it, you just do your shopping like normal. That's it. Just buy whatever the fuck you want to buy from Amazon. Doesn't matter to me. But what happens is if you buy through our affiliate, a small percentage of that goes to this show. So basically, you just do your regular Amazon shopping. You get some special discounts in there too on some items as an affiliate. But you go there, do your shopping at Amazon through our affiliate page, and guess what? We get paid, and you're just doing your regular shopping. So it's a great win-win situation there for everybody. Also, that on that affiliate page, it's make sure when you do see that link, you click on it, go ahead and bookmark that thing. So anytime you shop Amazon, you're also helping out the Barbarian Lounge. We've also listed there, some people just like to send some cool shit too, and I've got some cool shit that I've got on the way that people have informed me is on the way, so we'll see how that pans out. But if you want to help out the show by maybe purchasing some items that will help this show out, you can go there. I also have listed the Amazon wish list, which has some books on there. It has some different gear, some upgraded material for this show that I'm looking to add some things to enable me to do this show on the road a little bit when I'm traveling, because I do have some traveling engagements set up throughout this year. And if you're interested in having me at any of those, please contact me. I will be glad. Like I always say, man, I'm come from the world of pro wrestling. You give me the mic, you give me the stick, and I will get in there and I'll get this crowd rolling. Also, you could check out our host site at thebarbarianlounge.podbean.com. You can also find us on iTunes, the Barbarian Lounge on iTunes, Stitcher, all that good stuff. Also on UCY.tv, Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. You can check it out there. Our sponsor, Mitacon. Yes, Mitacon. And you know, as you guys know, I always got my Mitacon cup here. There it is. That's right. Got the Mitacon cup. Mitacon, the energy within it makes you stronger. Mitacon with proper diet supports the cell's fastest, most effective absorption of natural nutrients in each 250 milliliter bottle and sustains the body's mitochondria generation of usable energy, key to producing ATP, the energy-rich fuel the body needs to achieve peak athletic strength, performance, endurance, and recovery. One of the great things I like about Mitacon is the recovery factor of it. I've recently started getting back into the powerlifting again. I just can't get away from it. Actually, the truth of the matter is I just like to eat. And if I'm powerlifting, I got an excuse to eat a lot of shit. So that's what I told my wife the other day. I said, fuck this diet. I'm just going to start lifting heavy again. So Mitacon is one of the things that really helps me keep that recovery going. I'm looking in the future to have Mitacon carry in our store. I'm trying to work the deal out with them right now, so stay tuned for that. But you can check them out. You can head over to their website at mitaconusa.com. So check them out there. Take a sip of mine real quick right there. So let's get into the meat and potatoes. So a couple nights ago, I'm sitting around, and one of my brethren, one of my internet brethren, one of our listeners, one of our fellows that's down with the cause, he sends me a message and says, "Have you seen this shit?" And before I know it, my phone starts blowing up. My email starts blowing up. It is just crazy. "Odinson, have you seen this? Oh my God, have you seen this?" And I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about by now. The kidnapping and subsequent torture in Chicago. The wonderful, wonderful city of Chicago. This week could really just be deemed Chicago week, because that seems like every time, I had a different idea planned for a show today, and you know what? It ended up getting trumped, pun intended. It ended up getting trumped by this debacle that occurred in Chicago. And if you've been living under a rock, you don't really know what happened. I'll map it out for you just briefly here. You had four urban Chicago urbanites, two black guys and two black girls. They would fall into the category of the, in quotation, hood rat. And they've got this white guy, this white kid, who happens to be, I believe he was autistic. They have him tied up, bound, gagged, and they proceed to carry out torture. Yes, that's exactly what was happening. They took a knife, they cut a chunk of his scalp out. A video surfaced a little bit later where they showed them actually cramming his head in a toilet and telling him to drink, no telling what the fuck was in there. I'm hearing reports that they had him bound up for and trapped, if you want to put it that way, for 48 hours. 48 hours of beating, torture, and throughout this whole instance, the whole time it's happening, it's about a little over 27 minutes, probably about close to 28-minute long video. And, it's tough to really understand the dialogue because I don't speak Ebonics. So, trying to decipher, I didn't have my Super Ebonics decoder ring on me, so I couldn't really tell exactly what they were talking about half the time. But basically, they're beating the guy, and they're punching him in the face, and, after they cut a chunk out of his head, and they're yelling the whole time, "Fuck white people! Fuck Donald Trump!" The whole time they're doing it. Now, obviously, you hear this, and, it comes to the top of your head, you hear that, and you go, "Well, God, that was a fucking hate crime, right?" Oh, well, but the media wasn't sure. Right? So I'm seeing the media, when they finally decided to cover it, nobody wanted to talk about it. It was out for hours before it was discussed. And the guy that brought it to the limelight was Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson was the guy who was out there, which I understand Tucker Carlson is going to be replacing Megyn Kelly, that fucking bitch. Tucker Carlson's going to be replacing her, so that's an improvement to say the least. Granted, Tucker's not as great to look at, but let's be honest. Looking at Megyn Kelly anymore, she looks like a cross between probably if Hillary Clinton and Rachel Maddow had a child together, it would look like Megyn Kelly. Everybody says she's easy on the eyes, but Jesus Christ, you guys must like a fucking stick or something, man. I want a fucking woman. I don't want a little boy in a dress. Jesus Christ. So anyway, yeah, she looks like a blonde. If you put Pee Wee Herman in a wig and put him in a dress and put him on Fox News, that's about what I see with Megyn Kelly. So maybe my taste is a little more harsh than some people, but hey, it is what it is. But I digress. So basically, Tucker Carlson got this forced into the mainstream media because media didn't want to touch it. But, it was funny. I was reading all the articles, and they were saying things like, what did it say? Man allegedly kidnapped and tortured on Facebook live stream video, because if you're not aware, I didn't say this, but this was streamed live over Facebook, so that just shows the audacity of these people. So it said it was allegedly kidnapping. I said, allegedly? Oh yeah, it must be alleged, right? I mean, because there's a possibility he could have tied himself up, bound himself, shot himself up with drugs, which, yeah, I forgot to mention that too, that they shot him up with drugs. Shot himself up with drugs, headbutted their fists with his face, and cut himself shaving, right? And he's probably even throwing his voice to say "fuck white people" and "fuck Donald Trump." Yeah, I guess it could be alleged, right? Yeah, that makes sense. That, according to the lamestream media, that makes total sense, right? Alleged, their own fucking video doing it. When you talk about alleged, I'm almost to the point where I'm like, why are we even having a trial? Why are we wasting taxpayers' money? Take them, set them out on the street, and put a bullet in their fucking head as a reminder to everyone around that you can't do fucking shit like this. That's my thoughts on it, but hey, who am I, right? I mean, maybe I'm just getting a little too emotional here about it. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm sick of people sitting around and just letting this shit blow over like, oh, well, you know, it is what it is. No, you know, we got to be calm. See, no, calm's what's got us here where we're at right now. We're to the point right now where people have to recognize a threat. But the mainstream media, you know, they say, well, you know, I mean, come on. It's just, you know, I remember reading I believe it was the police chief there in Chicago. Kind of looks like, oh shit, what was his name? From, it's slipping my mind right now. He looks like the dad from, fucking Family Matters. That's what I thought. He looked like the dad from Family Matters, but he's the police chief, and, he says, well, you know, it's just some kids being stupid, making stupid decisions, you know, acting like it's not really a big deal. So, you know, what kind of message does that send to the people, namely the white people, because this is a fucking hate crime? I'll throw that out there. You say what you want to, but this is a fucking hate crime by all measure of the word. What does that say to the people there? That says that those who have sworn to protect and serve you thinks that your kidnapping, torture for 2 days, 48 hours or so, that that's not really a big deal. Not a big deal at all. Hey, I mean, it's just some stupid kids having fun, right? just some kids having fun. It's like playing tic-tac-toe or something, or going out and throwing the frisbee. It's just some kids having fun. You know, a little torture. You know, tossing the tennis ball, but let's torture too. You know, that's fun. It's all just good fun. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not all good fun, and it's not kids making stupid decisions. Kids, these people were 18 years and up. Those are fucking adults. They know exactly what they were doing. They want to stream it live and laugh and joke and yeah, fuck that guy. Look at him. Yeah, that's funny. Oh, look, he's leaking. I think I managed to decipher that word. He's leaking. Yeah, he was bleeding out the top of his head where you fucking sliced him open with a knife, threatening him. So the media just really didn't even want to cover it. You know, they were just like, you know, whatever. It did not become a main issue until it was found out, because initially it was just a white guy. But when it was found out that he was a special needs / autistic individual, then it became a big deal. Then, we got to do something about this, you know. So they're arrested and everything like that, and you know, I mean, it is what it is. They showed the mugshot of these 4 scumbags, and what do you see? You see 2 guys who are proud about what they did. You see one of the girls and kind of blank face, and everyone passed the picture around of the main girl. What was her name? Brittany something. I don't even know her fucking name, but she didn't have any trouble, you know. They showed the picture of her. She's the one picture of her crying, but the mugshot I saw, she's not crying. She's standing there just like it's no thing. You know, so it is what it is. What's probably going to happen is that these guys are probably going to be maybe they'll probably serve some prison time. Probably, you know, one thing, it's a surprise right off the bat they even charge it as a hate crime. Because I've heard many people in media, some of these analysts and stuff that they have come in, who namely are black, they come in and say, oh, that's not a hate crime. You know, black people can't do hate crimes. I've actually heard them say these things. So, it's one thing to file charges, and I am surprised by that. I will be even more surprised if there's a conviction, or if it's even a harsh conviction. We'll see how it plays out. I'm not sure how it's going to play out, and I will be doing nothing but speculating at the moment as to how it's going to play out. But either way, let's say they serve some jail time. What happens? What happens? They'll go to prison, and they will be trained to become better pieces of shit. That's just what happens. The prison is almost like a boot camp, an extended boot camp for thug mentality, and that's what they are. These people are pieces of shit, and there's nothing that's going to happen, nothing that's going to reform them from not being pieces of shit in prison. I know that's difficult for a lot of people to understand, a lot of people to comprehend, and they feel all emotional about the situation, and they're saying, you can't say that about no. Watch the video again and tell me that these people aren't pieces of shit. Look at them smiling as they're being booked and tell me they're not pieces of shit. They're proud about what they did. So they're going to go in, they're going to learn to be better criminals, and they're going to come right out. I mean, if you really want an idea of how just how great this girl is. I remember somebody posted on my Twitter, I believe it was, on my Twitter page, that she, it was a picture of her, I'm trying to remember, it was a picture of her, like her roommate had snapped a picture of her having sex with some crackhead, that, like, in the room there. It was basically like a shot kind of at a distance, and the girl had commented on it, saying, oh, I guess I'm dead in this. I've got caught, and apparently what the roommate was saying was that she always tends to wake up and see this girl fucking some random crackhead in the corner. So that tells me not only is she a piece of shit, but she's fucking breeding as well. And what kind of parent is that going to be? If you listen to my last episode, you'll see where I was talking about the lack of strong male role models, strong father role models in there. So I was looking up here real quick. That's why I seem a little distracted. I'm actually looking up the names of these people, and it almost seems like the names are a little different. We got I'm gonna read their names out here just so they can go down in history for the pieces of shit they are. Jordan Hill, Tesfaye Cooper, whatever the fuck kind of name that is. Just like throwing a bunch of letters together and coming up with a name. Brittany Covington, that's the bitch's name, and Tanisha Covington. So, it's a family affair, apparently. A family affair of pieces of shit working together. But, everybody wants to jump immediately on this thing to the race card. And don't get me wrong, that does play an issue in here, because we have to understand, part of the things they said was, fuck white people, fuck Donald Trump. So, obviously, there is a white hate crime sort of mentality behind this. But I want to cover just a few things on here, actually, when I start looking at this thing as a whole, what I can see in a broader picture that led us to the spot we're at right now with this kidnapping that's going on in the wonderful, wonderful place of Chicago. I'm under the assumption that the only thing that can fix Chicago right now is napalm. A healthy dose of napalm will fix Chicago. But let's not even talk about Chicago right now. As it relates to this, because there's a bigger picture that's going on here than just 4 black people kidnapping and torturing a white guy. Even though that's a big deal, but there's a lot more to this, and it points me right back to an earlier episode I did a long time ago. I can't remember the number of it. I want to say it was called the Bully Politics or something like that, and it's about the violence of the left. The liberal left, the violence of these people. And when I look at the liberal left, when I see them, I don't really even see, like Bernie Sanders as, let's get everything free, man, that sort of fuckery that goes on. No, I see those people as the communist enemy. Because really, at the end of the day, we're all kind of either a form of communism or a form of capitalism, in a way. There's some, you got socialism, which is nothing but communism light, and all these different things like that. Libertarianism, that goes falls in the category of capitalist light. So, I mean, you've got all these different aspects, but if you divide them into 2 big groups, communist, capitalist. So your communist group tends to be more of your liberal left guys. And these are the ones that are doing the violence. If you look all throughout the 2016 election, who were the ones beating people up in the streets? Who was it? Was it Trump supporters? No, I didn't see that happen. I saw a couple of them try to defend themselves and then get attacked by a mob. But who are the ones that are out there doing this? That's right. It's the communist leftists. These cultural Marxists. They're the ones that are out there doing all the violence. And who is the marching army of the left? The marching army of the left is the BLM, Black Lives Matter. Because yes, all four of these people were members of Black Lives Matter. I know you're shocked, aren't you? I was shocked. I was taken aback. I took my Black Lives Matter member card and burned it after I found out. Because I thought they were all about peace. No. They're not all about peace. They're the same people that fucked up Ferguson. They're the same people that burned Charlotte to the ground almost and had another white man pinned down in a parking garage beating the shit out of him as he pleaded for them not to. Those are those people. That's what Black Lives Matter is. That's what they are. Oh, no, we're not all like that. No. But you're not condemning those that are doing that either. This is where the problem comes in. It's the same issue that when we talk about Islam, it's the same way. Well, not all Muslims are like that. Yeah, but you know what? You're not out there fucking condemning these people either, are you? No, you're not. You see, on my side, over here, when I saw Dylan Roof walk into a church and shoot some fucking black people as they were praying, I said, fuck him. And I'll say it today. I listen to some people in, different fringes of the internet saying things like, oh, Dylan Roof's a hero. Let me tell you something. Fuck Dylan Roof. Fuck Dylan Roof. If I had the opportunity, I'd put a bullet in his fucking head myself. Fuck Dylan Roof. And I'll go on record saying that. And I've said it many, many times. And people still want to fucking defend the guy. Fuck him. Because even if you don't give a shit about what he did, which if you don't, that says a lot about you. But even if you don't give a shit about him, look at what he did to, I see here, my beloved South. Look what he did. Look what he did. He was the fucking spark, the ember that started the inferno that swept through the South and destroyed our Southern symbols. He was the guy. Oh, but the mainstream media, they were the ones pushing it. Yeah, but they wouldn't have had anything to talk about if he hadn't have been a fucking dipshit and did that. Oh, he wanted to change things and make things better? What, by killing some fucking black people praying in a church? He's a piece of shit. He's no better than those people that are up there torturing a guy. He's no better than them. It's completely useless. He caused more harm than anything, especially in this state. I live in fucking South Carolina, and I had to watch the flag that my family was nearly wiped off this planet defending. I had to watch it pulled down to the cheers of fucking carpetbaggers from up north who just wanted to get on the fucking news because of that little bowl-cut headed piece of shit. So fuck him. Fuck Dylan Roof. But with the BLM, these guys are out burning towns. They're beating people up. We've seen it constantly. And I talked about this a little bit before, how in the civil rights movement, that the Communist Party was pushing the whole civil rights movement. They were the arm back there pushing them forward. So they used those people, the no justice, no peace. That was all communist propaganda. And there's video of strong black leaders at the time telling the people, don't fall under this trap. This is a communist plot. But they did not see it. All they could do was think about the glory that was awaiting them. And, it is what it is. We've seen how that's turned out. And, it's the same game being played today. It's the exact same game being played. Same players, same army. It's just Black Lives Matter now. It's funny to me how many organizations embrace this. And despite all the evidence that comes out, nobody wants to call Black Lives Matter what they actually are. They are a domestic terrorist group. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Because, if you look at it, what have they done? They have shot law enforcement officers. That's provable. They have kidnapped and tortured a white man. I've seen them beat numerous white men through different videos that you can find. The knockout game that, surprisingly enough, was racially targeted, but you didn't hear much about that. They even had the nerve to say the knockout game wasn't even real, right? So you got that. Let's see, what else have they done? They've caused social unrest. The same thing. We've seen numerous burning down of cities and whatnot. It's happened all over the place. So they absolutely 100% fit the bill for domestic terrorism. 100%. You know, I saw somebody, some members of Black Lives Matter were defending the actions, because yes, believe it or not, there were people defending the actions of these 4 individuals who tortured this guy. They were defending it, saying, "Hey, you know what? The KKK has been doing that to black people for many, many years. They've been doing it for a long time. Just pick up a book and you'll see what we're talking about." Really? Let me tell you something. The Klan has not been relevant for shit. I can't even tell you the last time the Klan's been relevant. Probably 60 years or so, or more. It's been a long time since they've been remotely relevant. And even further back than that, when's the last time you've seen the Klan go out and lynch a black guy? Go ahead. I'm waiting. I think the last incident, one of my friends told me of that could even be deemed as a white on black hate crime would be, I think it was in Texas, where they took the guy and tied him to the truck and drug him down the road or something like that. That's the last one. I believe that was in the 20, 30 years ago, something like that. I don't have it in front of me here. I'm speaking completely from memory, which my memory is not super as it is anyway. So, yeah, that long ago. But yet, you can look at works of guys like Colin Flaherty and see that the epidemic of violence, especially from Black Lives Matter, is rampant. It's rampant in the community. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, if you want to really point things out, you've got a group of people who make up a small percentage of the population, a percentage that is growing, but a small percentage nonetheless, that commits, 90% or well over. Well, I say 90%, well over half. I don't want to overshoot, but I don't want to undershoot either. Well over half of the crime in the United States. I mean, that's a statistic that you can't deny, and and it's being pushed by these leaders. You've got people up there like fucking Loretta Lynch, which I hope you got your bags packed, bitch, because you're going to be gone in just a matter of weeks. But you got her. You've had guys like Holder, the fucking President Obama up there. He's up there pushing this race baiting bullshit. He's supporting Black Lives Matter and having them hanging out at the fucking White House and everything. So, it's a system that's been pushed systematically. They're pushing these people forward to be the marching army of their game. And they've done a very good job. And they're not done yet. Let me tell you, they're not done yet. We talk about the Trump supporters that have been attacked throughout the thing. I mean, we saw that. Things, you have to understand how these people just don't resort to physical violence. Bashing somebody's car, standing across the fucking road and stuff like that, and then getting upset because they get hit, right? But they don't just do that. They're throwing urine and feces and all this ridiculous shit they do. But with a lot of these guys, when you look at the violence of the left, you can look easily towards the Antifa, which they are the communist movement. The Antifa, if you listen to my episode with Augustus Invictus, we talked about how the Antifa have caused him a lot of harm. They attempted to jump him in, I want to say it was Seattle, could be wrong there. Seattle or maybe someplace in Oregon, I don't remember right off the bat. My mind's kind of jumbled, so let me take a sip of Mitacon, maybe that'll help. Shameless plug there. But these Antifa scum, I mean, they're basically these little fucking weaklings who fight off the internet. They use the internet as their fighting tool. A lot of people are like, oh, we'll challenge Antifa. These fuckers, the only thing they do, the only thing they know is hiding behind screen names and showing up in mobs to outnumber and attack people. You know, you think about the Traditional Workers' Party when they got attacked in California. These Antifa, who oddly enough, from what I understand, were guided there to that location by the police, but we're not going to talk about that because, you know, that might be a little too extreme for you guys. But anyway, these Antifa, they went there and they had steel pipes and they were beating the shit out of Traditional Workers' Party guys. It was maybe about, 10 or 12 guys. And there's 50, 60 of these Antifa shitheads. And they're beating them up with steel pipes. And guess what? A few of the Traditional Workers' Party guys pulled some blades and defended themselves and stabbed a couple of them. And guess what gets reported? Oh, neo-Nazis stab protesters. So that's the kind of shit you get. But these Antifa, man, they're brutal. I've received some attacks from them, and as I said, I stirred them up. That was my goal initially because I'm sick of seeing them go untested and unchallenged, and I think it's high time for people to start uniting and standing against these people. Because if we don't, we're going to allow ourselves to be run over by lesser men, plain and simple. We saw, too, talking about the violence of the left, we saw the Mexican La Raza riots and stuff like that, the immigration stuff that was going on. And that just blows my mind when I see all this stuff that's going on with the illegal immigration guys rioting. I don't understand why INS just doesn't back a fucking truck up and get a couple guys with some big-ass brooms, maybe get a guy with a backhoe and just start at the front and just start pushing forward till you load them all up in the fucking truck and drive them across the border. How about that? That's the easy way to take care of that, right? They're all gathered in one fucking spot. What's the problem, right? But, you see that. And I always ask these people, I say, tell me, how many riots are you seeing from the right? I mean, when fucking Barack Obama won the first time, did you see any riots from the right? No. What you saw was people forming Tea Party groups. They were forming the Tea Party, which they're like, oh, Tea Party's racist. Yeah, there was a lot of black people at the Tea Party rallies. There's tons of videos and pictures of it. But hey, that's another story for another day. But they formed Tea Parties, and they started trying to get legislation pushed, and they got things set to block any bad shit that the commie dictator Obama was going to push forward. Commie dictator is not even really a good way to describe him, just fucking communist piece of shit. So that's what they started doing. You didn't see, you saw militia groups pop up. I will say there was definitely a rise of militia groups, but guess what they're doing? They're all training, they're getting together, they're hanging out, but you didn't see any shit come from them, did you? Nope, you sure didn't. Imagine that. Imagine that. But there's this idea that, I can definitely say that my mentality towards the left has changed over the years. It definitely has. It's been changing rapidly lately. But these guys, there's this idea from a lot of people on the conservative right and everything like that, okay, well, we're going to show them how much better we are because they treat us like shit and everything, but we're going to try and be cool with them and we're going to treat them fair and all this stuff like that, as if somehow that's going to magically make the left say, those guys on the right, they're not that bad. They're not bad guys at all. Let's all come together. No, that's not the way this game is played. If you believe that somehow treating them great, treating them fairly is somehow going to make them succumb to your cause, you are incorrect. They're just not going to do it. Especially the hardcore fucking liberals. They're definitely not going to do it. They're just looking at it as, I think they take it a lot of times as a sign of weakness. And I've seen over the years just so much of the right standing down and letting these people push forward. And there needs to come a point where there needs to be a line. Because you have to understand that the root, these people are weak. They are weak. And if you form that line and say, you know what? Not another fucking step forward. You're done. That's when you'll see true power start coming back. That's when you see natural order starting to be restored, especially in this political system we've got right now with the rise of Trump. So you don't see that stuff in the right. I'm of the opinion that the left should be treated pretty fucking harshly, if I'm being honest with you. A lot of people who pull this shit of, oh, you know, we can treat them fairly and this and that and everything, they haven't really dealt with these people. And I used to think the same way. But now that I'm starting to deal with them, I've dealt with the fucking BLM. I've dealt with the Antifa. I've dealt with the attacks that they've come at me, at my family, my friends and stuff like that. I have dealt with those things. Now I understand the enemy clearly. I have a great understanding of what lies in front of me. And it's not good, my friends. And I'm here as a bellwether trying to warn you of what's coming. And I'm telling you, these people must be treated harshly. These fuckers that did Chicago kidnapping, guess what? They're part of the, consider them part of the standing army of the fucking communist left. That's what they are. They were the hood rat special ops that were sent in to make an example of a guy. I used to talk to some guys that I knew. It's funny. I think I might have told the story before, but he was an old man that used to hang out at the gun shop we used to go to, and he's a little old guy, like somebody's granddaddy, and he used to talk about how they would go in sometime to fuck with the Viet Cong. They would go in there and get like some of the leadership, and they would sneak into their hut and gut them and pretty much decorate the room with their entrails. And this is like a little old man telling me this. And I was a kid, you know, I had a really cool childhood. So a little kid hearing this story, I still remember it today, so I'll let you know what it did to me. But, you know, he would tell that, saying, you know, setting an example. That's basically what these BLM goons did here. They used this guy as an example. They wanted to make an example to the world that says, you know what, white people, fuck you. That's the communists trying to push this game. The same game they've been pushing since the 1960s when that documentary I was telling you was made. Granted, it's been pushed a lot further back than that. But, you know, you look at all the rise of fascism, all of that is a response to communism. It is. It was a logical response to a imposing invasion force that was looking to take over an area. Just is. You can look it up. It's crazy. It's one of those things you don't really pay attention to coming up a lot of times. But we have to understand that these people are going to do what they're going to do. And until we start standing up and really treating them as the pieces of shit they are, they're just going to continue to do it. You know, these fucking leftist communists, I'm of the mentality they need to be crushed. They need to be crushed harshly. They need to be crushed viciously. And it needs to be done very soon, because if they get a foothold, there's going to be an issue. I became recently aware of a communist liberal, whatever you want to call it, front that is set up in a city not too far from me here. I go there frequently, several times a week actually. And it came to my attention that they have set up shop there. They've miraculously got the money to buy billboards and all this stuff like that. It's almost like they were funded by Soros or something. Wouldn't that be a weird thing, huh? Imagine that, you know, commies funded by Soros. Oh, wait, that's what he does. Huh. But yeah, I found out they were there, and my first response, people were sending me the information about it and everything. My first response was to get in contact with them. And I said, hey, come on this show. I want you to come on the Barbarian Lounge, because we're going to have a discussion. And we're gonna have Odinson versus the fucking commies right here on the open air. And they sent me back a nice little PC message of, oh, you know, we're trying to find out exactly who we're going to run our program through, and yada yada yada. My response back was, you fucking cowards, if you want to have a discussion about how you're pieces of shit, come on this show. If you really want to stand up and not hide behind your fucking monitors and everything, come on this show. Crickets chirping, you know. That's what it is. But I just want them to know. They know who I am. They know where I'm at. They know that I'm in the area. I want them to know that you can't just move into one of my fucking areas and start spreading your communist bullshit. Because guess what? Odinson's not going to stand down for that shit. I've got a fucking barbarian horde that is standing behind me that is willing to meet them on the battlefield. So stand up if you guys want to fucking do something. But no, you want to sit there and post your little articles and post your little memes and attack people on the internet and everything. Motherfucker, you like to talk, I like to fight. So if that's the case, even if we want to do a war of words, I'm down with that, motherfucker. Come on this show and we'll have a nice little discussion about how you're a piece of shit. God damn it, my Agent Orange is flaring up, guys. Woo! Woo! Getting fired up. So, you know, another issue with this whole issue that went down with with the Chicago kidnapping is we also have to look towards the propaganda arm of the Communist Party, which is the mainstream media. The mainstream media, think about it. You know, you've got these people out there, and you know what? These four guys, or the two guys, two gals that were that did the torture, they may not have a damn clue about anything. There's probably a very good chance they do. Because we live in a soundbite kind of fast food society where we get our information quick and all this stuff like that. You know, most people don't take the time to sit down, watch actual news and learn about things and actually become educated. Well, I guess if you're living in Chicago, it's tough to do that between, dope sales or shootings or whatever it may be. You know, they got a lot of funerals to go throughout the day. So with the with the mainstream media, with a soundbite society, they push this whole idea of Donald Trump as a racist. And you've got these people that truly believe that Donald Trump is a racist. And I always ask them, I say, what did he say that was racist? Oh, he talked about Mexicans. What about Mexicans? Says that they're all murderers and rapists. No, he didn't. He said that the vast majority of illegal aliens that are coming across tend to be criminals, tend to be murderers, and rapists. That's a fact. That's like DOJ statistics. So, I mean, that what you're talking about? So, the media pushed all these misogynistic, all these ideas that Donald Trump was this and Donald Trump was that. And people are too fucking lazy to look it up. So, the mainstream media pushes this violence. They are the propaganda arm. So you've got the actual standing army of the BLM, the Antifa, and the fucking La Raza. That's the standing army used by the commies. And then you got the propaganda force that inspires them to push forward. That's the mainstream media. And they push this whole idea of this whole Donald Trump's a racist nonsense. They pushed it. They still pushing it today. Now it's Donald Trump's a Russian agent. Even though I saw today that he's doing like the intelligence briefing. And it's funny to me because I was looking at the whole Russia thing and I said to myself, Self, if the Russians' crime was exposing that Hillary and Podesta were stealing the election, using funds illegally, getting all this money from Saudi Arabia, and all the other wonderful things in there that came out, they were stealing the election from Bernie Sanders, even though I'm not a fan of Bernie Sanders. If that's what Russia actually, if they really did it, right? You know what I have to say to Russia? Bravo. Fucking bravo. Because you saved the American people from that evil, wicked witch of Arkansas. That's what you did. So if anything, the American people should be thanking Russia if they actually did hack anything. And, there's this false idea that they hacked the election. They hacked the machines. No, not true. All that they're accused of is, quote unquote, fake news and, hacking the emails. Even though Julian Assange says, nope, our source is absolutely not Russian. It's from the DNC themselves. Oh, that's not true. So the guy that actually released it and got the information, the intelligence people say he is not telling the truth in that. So, hey, call it what you will. But, the media has pushed this whole idea. They pushed the idea, I've seen many, many articles, you can look it up, that they said Trump was elected because of uneducated white men. Uneducated white men. Really? So you mean to tell me the educated masses are like the ones that were speaking that gibberish that was in this Chicago kidnapping video? Those are the educated ones? Or maybe it's one of those educated Obama phone people, right? Obama, he gave us a phone and he's going to give us more. Yeah, he gave you more, all right, didn't he? So, those are the educated masses? No. You look at the people who were voting Trump. The people that were voting Trump, those were the people who were actually out there paying attention to what's going on. They understand what's happening. They understand what illegal immigration is doing. They know what business is. They're like, oh, Donald Trump failed at so many businesses. Yeah, he's failed at more businesses than you'll ever start. So, this whole idea, this whole class warfare, this whole mentality that's been pushed by the propaganda arm of the liberal, Marxist, communist, fucking leftist out there, that those are the ones out there that are inspiring these sort of violent acts to happen. And let me tell you something, my friends. Listen right now, fellow barbarians, when I say this. It's not over. It's not over. It has just begun. The more Trump gets in, the more he starts taking away all their free shit, the more he starts, building that wall, the more he starts putting these regulations down on these companies and everything, they are going to strike back. Because let me tell you, the empire, when Donald Trump got elected, here I go using Star Wars references. When Donald Trump got elected, it was equivalent to Episode 4 when the Death Star blew up. That was basically Donald Trump getting elected. What happened in Episode 5? The empire struck back. And that's exactly what's going to happen. The empire's not done. They're coming back, and they're coming hard. They're going to attack with a viciousness in ways we cannot imagine right now. I'm telling you, I am of the belief that you're going to see many more of these attacks. Because let's be honest, race relations has not been good since, surprisingly, the first black president was elected, or half black. So race relations has not been good. We are seeing it more tense than I've ever seen in my life. And it's not really being helped by, I hear these people talking about, oh, yeah, this is the beginning of a race war, and we're going to go and exterminate all the blacks. And there's black groups are saying, we're going to exterminate all the whites. And I'm like, you guys are full of shit. If anything, it's going to be a long game of breeding. And that's a game that we can actually take active part in. So have some kids, motherfuckers, right? All of you European men out there, it's time for you to start having some fucking kids. But, they push all this this whole race war idea. It's complete horse shit. There's a lot of people who are good, productive members of society. They'll want to push this idea. I listened to some guy today, and it was just, you could tell he's probably had a few too many. I'm not saying he didn't have a shitty life, but hey, it is what it is. But he's talking about how we've got to exterminate all of them. He was talking about black people. He's like, we got to exterminate them all. That's the only way it's going to be better. It's like, fuck you, man. I've got I know some strong black men who I would gladly stand behind that have probably done more in life than you will ever do. So fuck that nonsense, man. That's complete nonsense. That is there's no reality to that whatsoever. I mean, come on. It's completely asinine to think such ways. Doing shit like that is what inspires morons to go out and shoot up churches and shit. At the same time, you can't get this whole idea that's how the game is going to be played, because you're not seeing the forest for the trees in that situation. But it's funny to me, like, after all this stuff happened, you still get those people, though, that don't want to really look at the giant elephant in the corner of the room. They don't want to pay attention to the rise of things like black on white crime. Black on white crime is a big thing, which in honesty, black on black crime is a huge thing. It's massive. So you've got, as I spoke about in the last episode regarding Chicago bullshit, there's a community problem. There's a cultural community problem that needs to be handled. And it's only going to really be solved by the black community themselves. This whole idea of race war and all this bullshit, like this extermination, fuck that. That is complete, pipe dream nonsense. It's completely idiotic. It's like those people that say, I listen to some people, some guys who claim to be white supremacists, and it's funny, like, you listen to them and you look at them and look what they've done, and you see they're not really supreme at anything. It's always amusing to me. But these are the same people that talk about, talk about this with blacks, and they're this, and they're like this stereotypical idea, and it's like, yeah, but you're not taking into account the Ben Carsons of the world, the fucking Thomas Sowells, those guys like that. I know some fucking strong guys that I keep in touch with, that I know. I got my buddy down in Florida, Mr. Brian Smith. I've got a couple guys online I talk with, Chester Thomas, guys like that. Those are strong black men who are strong in their culture, but they also understand what it means to be a good man in the process. And if you start pushing this whole nonsense of, we gotta start wiping them out, and fuck you, man. I'll be on the other side telling you you're wrong. I mean, that's just ridiculous talk. So the reality of the situation is that in order for things to really be healed, is that the communities are going to have to heal themselves. They're absolutely going to have to heal themselves, but while maintaining their own cultural standards in the process. And that's all going to be done internally. You're not going to have any legislation that's going to change it. You're not going to have any sort of media push, at least on the European side. You're not. But there has to be people to stand up and say it's okay to be who you are. It's okay to be proud that you're white. It's okay to be proud that you're black. I've talked about that before with diversity. Diversity is the spice of life. It's kind of like diversity would be if you had like a box of crayons. If I said, okay, I'm going to give you a box of crayons. You opened it up and there was that, remember those when you were a kid? I don't know if they still got it, those 64 crayons in there. You open it up, you see 64 different color crayons. That's diversity. Now, if I hand you that same box and you open it up and there's just one brown crayon in the middle, that's not diversity. You got a brown fucking crayon. So, understand that diversity is the spice of life. And just because you got some people saying I love me does not automatically mean that they hate you, right? I mean, I love my wife. That doesn't automatically mean that I hate every other lady that I see walking down the street. It's ridiculous. Trust me, if I hate you, you'll know. I'll probably scream about it at the top of my lungs. So, it's ridiculous to see what's being pushed right now. And you've got these useful idiots out there that they don't even realize they're being pushed. And there's almost a part that says you can't blame it. There's almost a part that says you can't blame it. But there's also a part of me that says that we have to understand there's some of these people, these groups like BLM, you're not going to reform them. You can throw them all the facts you want. You can tell them exactly the truth of the matter. You can show them the statistics on black on white crime. You can show them the statistics of white on black crime. You can show them the statistics of black on black crime. You can show them black on Asian, Hispanic on white. You can show them all those statistics in the world, and it will not matter. Because as far as they are concerned, you're their enemy. They have been brought up in a victim culture, and there's no way you can change that. The only thing you can do is understand right off the bat, without a question, they are the enemy. That's the only thing you can understand, is they are the enemy. Plain and simple. I hate to use the old cliche of you're either with us or against us, but that's basically the mentality that these people have. And I'm not a turn the other cheek kind of guy, if you can't tell. I don't fall into the category of turn the other cheek. I'm more of the if somebody slaps you on the face, you turn the other cheek. No, if they slap me on the face, I come back with a right hook. That's my mentality. So I don't see any reason to treat these people any different. If they are going to be ignorant, if they are going to follow the model pushed for them while not doing any research, and they want to attack me, my family, my people, my friends, guess what? You're my fucking enemy. And guess how you will be treated? Harshly, violently, and efficiently even. I'm all about efficiency. So, and I won't get into details of efficiency. Maybe I'll discuss that on a members-only show. So let me call a last call here. Last call, guys. Last call. Last call. Yeah, finish your drink, dude. You got to go. So, the Chicago kidnapping. What did we learn from that? There's a lot that could have been learned. A lot. It goes a lot towards even a mindset situation where you say don't let yourself. There's that whole adage of don't let yourself be found lying dead face down in the ditch. That kind of idea of standing up and fighting back, not letting yourself be captured by these people, not cowering and saying, "Oh, please don't hurt me," because that stuff doesn't work. It doesn't work with wild animals, and that's what these people are, wild animals.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
shows on the tracks you can catch every Monday night and Friday night.